Thank you, everybody. This is Interfaith Week, and although this year we are not having Interfaith Network run this, a bunch of us have been asked by Interfaith Network to carry the work forward, and we're trying very hard to keep the work going and hoping to also, from doing this week, we can perpetuate the work, as it were, to keep the interfaith community on the alert and working together as usual. So we'll see what happens for this year's Interfaith Week, and hopefully we can carry on the work in the future. An ad hoc group has been put together to discuss how the work will be taken forward, and hopefully you can give us any. We being one part of the ad hoc group, you can get in touch with us if you have any suggestions or comments that you would like to make. So welcome to this Interfaith Week event. To those on Zoom and on YouTube, welcome. We call ourselves RfPUK for short, because if we have to say Religions for Peace UK, it's very long and it's very repetitive. So we started calling ourselves RfPUK for short. We are a registered foundation in the UK. For those of our participants who are not familiar with us, we belong to a worldwide movement that has 90 chapters in 6 regions, as the map shows. And our head office is located in the UN Plaza in New York City. We have regional councils who are responsible to liaise with national chapters and communicate with other regional councils to maximize our positive impact. We convene world assemblies every 5 or 6 years, and at the end of these assemblies, we make a declaration together following the agenda that has been sent to us before, mainly to let everybody in the Religions for Peace movement worldwide to have a say and have the chance to discuss what we feel are the pressing issues, what we feel are solutions, and how we can work together. So from that declaration, we then publish a set of strategy plans on issues that are discussed and agreed, that are most pressing, that we need to be concentrating our efforts on. So these strategy plans change from time to time as the circumstances and our times change. And we then follow the global priorities that come out of these strategy plans. From our last World Assembly, there are 6 global priorities we ended up with, and you can see it on our slide, that those are the 6 that are identified out of our discussions. The aim of our action plan is closely related to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Can somebody please put the website of the Sustainable Development Goals in the chat, please, for people to read on if they so choose to. So the SDGs are a set of 17 interconnected global goals that are established by the United Nations, and in 2015. So since then, it's been providing a shared framework for countries and organizations to promote these sustainable development goals worldwide. They have a website. They are very active, and we believe that Religions for Peace is, although we are taking forward what we call peace, it's far from an ideal. It's not just a concept. There are elements in our lives that, when put together, they form that peace that we're searching for. And every step we take, as Muhammad Gandhi said, every step we take is the path of peace. So we're not hoping to get there, every step we take is an element of that peace. And the SDGs help us to identify the components of that peace that we're trying to reach. So the goals are tangible, reason why we follow them and formulate our priorities around them is because they are tangible and actions are practicable and the results we can measure, so we know how well we're doing or where else we need to focus our efforts on. And we adopt them into our strategic planning for the global Religions for Peace movement, as well as for the national chapters in the work. So as chair of RfPUK, I presented our work in the SDGs Conference in a French activity at the United Nations General Assembly, the 79th General Assembly. And we would like to share our work also in the UK Interfaith Week. So RfPUK hosts two constituent networks. We have the UK Interfaith Youth Network, and Edda here is the coordinator for the youth network and its projects. Edda, please introduce yourself.
Hello again. So as Cindy mentioned, I am the Youth Network Coordinator for Religions for Peace UK. We call ourselves Interfaith Youth Network. And the Interfaith Youth Network is a unique multi-religious network of young people dedicated to peaceful coexistence across diverse faiths and none. From intergenerational dialogues to environmental and humanitarian actions, we are launching interfaith projects and collaborations with faith and belief communities and academic institutions. We do have also the Religions for Peace UK Women of Faith Network, which is the second arm of Religions for Peace UK. And our chairwoman is Ravinda Kaur Nijjar, who is in another podcast.
So we'll ask Yvonne to talk about the projects she leads in the Women of Faith Network then.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy and Edda. I think it was a great introduction. So yeah, just to talk a little bit about the UK Women of Faith Network. So this network champions the dignity and rights of all people, and it also highlights the vital role of women in peace building. So we work with diverse women of faith and belief across the whole of the UK to promote peace and also to amplify women's voices. So the network works with male allies as it advocates in midst to push forward the gender equity to make our society a fairer and safer place for ourselves and also for future generations. So that was a very brief introduction, but we will be exploring more.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yvonne. The RfPUK work approach is best captured as we call it a three-step process, which is catalyze, convene, and collaborate. And we align our vision and mission with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, as we said, and we choose our objectives and deliverables, which can be actualized sustainability in our society. So we start by catalyzing ideas into action according to our priorities and helping faith and belief communities take the lead on important social issues. And then we convene the activities that we have the ideas of, bringing people together for important conversations, projects, and initiatives. And then we collaborate with faith and belief communities, academic institutions, and civic and government agencies. So many faith and belief communities have similar aspirations and shared goals. Working together is how we're going to achieve those goals.
That's right. And in the UK, we set our programs according to the 6 RfP global priorities, and we formulate the UK response. So we plan our programs and projects focusing on bringing the SDG results. Each of our programs work towards objectives that can improve awareness, to foster understanding, and also to put ideas and dialogues into actions. So we set up our programs and projects for faith and belief communities to work together. So whether we can contribute a little or a lot, we want everyone to feel empowered to take action and know that we are each bringing some positive impact. Our events provide a safe place to share knowledge, strain, and resolve around ourselves and be instrument of peace.
So we're happy to share some projects we convened. The SDGs there are related to are featured on the top right-hand corner of our visual. So when the war broke out in Ukraine, the RfPUK with Save a Child UK, and we supported their trips to take sick orphans as well as their state-appointed guardians, and they're appointed by the Ukraine government. We take them out of the war zones because they need medical care, and they would receive it not in the war zones, but in the safety of outside of the war affected areas, and they need that medical care very badly. The Save a Child UK team worked on the ground. The team actually went into Ukraine to take the people out themselves, and they brought people out from Kiev, Odessa, and Dnipro. So all received medical care in time, and some have come to the UK and settled in Scotland, and some in Wales.
In 2022, Religions for Peace UK received a $5,000 grant from the Religions for Peace International Humanitarian Fund and started a UK project with partnering with Hillsong Church UK. And the point of this project was creating an integration program for refugees and asylum seekers in London facing prolonged application delays and the threat of forced return to unsafe regions. By 2024, Religions for Peace UK picked up the initiative and continued the integration effort aiming to connect refugees with pathways suited to their skills and seek employment opportunities as their status permits. Due to the interest from our young people, we organized a webinar to give a clear view of the current refugee situation in the world and around the UK. We asked Hillsong UK to tell how they set up their Monday Cafe, which has been running every Monday since they set it up, how a team of volunteers made a difference with supporting refugees with their needs, teaching English language, teaching the life in the UK, and how actually through volunteering experience of theirs, how a response team or volunteers can be set up so young people can take that knowledge through volunteering back to their communities. And also, not only that, but consider action plans of their own.
So on another front, we would like to share the concept of equity versus equality. As you can see on our visual on the left-hand side, if you give everyone the same amount, we call it equality, but because they start from different points, that doesn't actually result in equality. So because everybody has a different starting point, we give them what they need so that they reach the same place. So we call that equity. It's not a new idea, but we exercise what we want to do, not just saying that we will give everybody the same, so it's not one size fits all. The Dignity of Women project is an exhibition, as you can see in the middle panel, citing scriptural readings and teachings from 9 religions about women for communities to host. So it's an exhibition that can be put up in a space. Ensuing discussion sessions give people the chance to know what religions say about women, and very often people are quite surprised with what they find. Often they don't even realize what their own religions say about women. They are quite surprised to find that out for themselves. So as they talk, the open discussions, participants make friends and see how we can help improve the awareness of that equity, as well as learning about each other's faith and what that faith says about women.
Yeah, also about on the topic of advancing gender equity, we show our support and response to the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence campaign each year. So we do that from many years of work in this area, and we are very lucky to have male allies in our midst to advocate education to the younger generation about the importance of gender equity. So this year, we will be launching a social media campaign to showcase the work of organizations which promote gender equity. We are also hosting a webinar featuring speakers from the University of Birmingham, the Faith and Violence Against Women and Girls Coalition, and also Bold Voices. So they'll be discussing the impact of gender equity, and they will be also discussing where can change begin in our society. So this is the, you can find more information on our website and Linktree.
Of course, we mentioned about humanitarianism as well as gender equity, but that's not what only Religions for Peace UK has attention on. We do also care and pay attention on sustainability and environmental aspect. And Religions for Peace UK Interfaith Youth Network Eco Peace Cafe was one of them. And it was an online platform designed to empower young people to take eco-social and peace-building actions within their faith communities and beyond. The program, as you can see from the pictures, offered 10 educational sessions and 7 facilitator training workshops featuring international experts. The goal was to foster inclusive, creative spaces for dialogue and to empower youth to address pressing environmental and social challenges around the world. We have a resource hub on our website, which features resources compiled through our activities, be the change workbook, the toolkits, reports, and also useful documents, and they are available online on our website for your perusal. They provide opportunities for people who may not be able to join our activities, but they would like to maybe put together their own activities. Such good guidelines for young individuals, also people who are interested in this type of topics. They are free to download and they are fully downloadable for all to use.
Also in the environmental front, taking on the Confucius philosophy, we believe that making a difference starts with ourselves, and then we can expand to home, and then to the community, and finally reaching the wider society. So our Eco-Action program emphasized the importance of balance and responsibility at all these levels. And we use checklists, as you can see in the screen, in this program, which helps participants to establish an action pattern of sustainable practice, and that ensures practical steps in our own life. So we also hoping that this program will show how individual effort counts towards a greater goal. Gaining confidence from personal actions, activists can work together to change their communities and then the society at large.
Of course, dealing with all of these worldwide problems, from humanitarian to gender violence, equality, I don't know, different topics that we are facing and encountering for years globally, inner well-being plays such an important role, and we wanted to give special occasion with starting the inner well-being program. For many world religions, inner peace is a core aspect of faith to counter new pressures such as the struggle for personal success as well. Also, the increasing challenges strain our mental health really and our moral well-being. And Religions for Peace UK Interfaith Youth Network's Inner Wellbeing webinar series explores meditation practices and promotes religious literacy, showing how inner peace can influence our outer actions as well as inner well-being. Our last episode, just to give an example, was called Walk for Peace, an event where peace builders walk in silence in London from Trafalgar Square to the Parliament, showing meditation can bring positive impact to society, not just personal contemplation behind closed doors.
So at the core of our objectives lies fostering partnerships with academic institutions and other faith and belief communities to develop youth and women engagement and encourage intergenerational collaboration.
So Religions for Peace UK really strives for collaboration with other organizations. We're always open to partnership with individuals and also with organizations. And whether you have your own project in mind or you want to join something we are already doing, we welcome you to reach out and collaborate with us. So here's a very useful QR code, and you can access our invitation pack, and you can have more information about it. But just to explore a little bit, we have two options for collaboration. So option one, we offer the opportunity for others to host RfPUK's events, like that could be a webinar or exhibition or discussion panels. So to do that, first, you choose one of our projects that you like to host. Then you meet with us to discuss some details like date, time, audience, and how we can support you. And finally, we talk about logistics. So we confirm the speakers, exhibition materials, social media promotion, and the final details for the event. The second option is what we also welcome project proposals coming from you. They align with Religions for Peace's UK, the Religions for Peace global priorities. And we happen to work with you or even consider sponsoring your idea. Once you got your proposal ready, then we work together to develop it, and we discuss resources, goals, and the deliverables. And after everything is approved, we'll move to the next stage, which will be about budgeting, delivery, timelines, and reporting. So you can see in the screen it's quite detailed and intuitive if you access from the QR code that I shared previously, but we can also share in the chat.
Right, thank you, Yavin. So in our work, it's occurred to us that finding interfaith peace builders is not a straightforward task. Believe me, we've tried. So with Religions for Peace UK is creating a directory for the interfaith and peace work community to address challenges in connecting. We are putting together a place where we called Peace Builders Network, so we can find each other. So you can access the Peace Builders Network through our website. On our landing page, you can see from the visual that you could that's why I put the yellow circle. You can find the Peace Builders Network there. And then the network features a search engine, finding individuals, organizations by areas of work or by region. If we have the next slide, please. Yeah, so you can see that the search engine works. You can enter in the name. If it's a person's name, it's a person's name. If it's organization's name, you can find them by the organization. You can then look for the areas of work that you're interested in finding, or you can find people by regions, because interfaith organizations like to work in regions sometimes. So this engine allows them to be able to do that. So the users needs to register, like in the graphic. You need to register to submit entries. All the submissions are moderated to ensure a safe space for all participants. And once you've registered, you can put in your entry. It could be for, as I said, for an individual as well as an organization. And if for an organization, please put up a contact person. It's easier for people to find you. And then you can include description of your work, public-facing email, and your website address, so that you can showcase your work and tell people what you do. You can elect to enter your key activities also, and the main region you work from. It just makes it easier for people to find you. Please comment and make suggestions. This is quite new to us, and we want to make this space user-friendly for everybody. So we're still fine-tuning it and making improvements if there are useful information that we get from people, so that we can work on this together to make it user-friendly for everybody.
So in the QR code that you are seeing on the picture at the moment, please use it. You're going to find all our social media accounts in one place. We hope that you have a better idea how Religions for Peace UK works with Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations now, and how our programs deliver results that contribute to a peaceful society, not only on individual level, but in community level, because we believe in learning, taking what you learn and bringing back to your communities, so you can face bigger issues that the world is facing at the moment.
Is there any particular points in your projects, Edda and Yavin, that helps you push forward further the sustainable development goals?
I would say definitely the eco-action, I think is very easily relatable to SDG 13 in special, because it is promoting sustainability, and during our sessions we talk a lot also about climate change and what we can do. So it is the essence of the whole project, what we can do. And then of course, we talked about those different levels, what we can do as on my own capacity as individual, and then what we can do as a family or as a household and in my community, and then we will be reaching out to the wider society. So I think it is quite easy to relate. Sorry, I'll leave some space for Edda to talk.
My comments in that would be that, yes, sustainable development goals are very good guidelines for everybody to consider, and if they would like to take an action, they can use those guidelines, but also where in individual level, when you think about that, understanding each other as well as being open to understand each other plays such an important role. I believe I would like to refer back to inner well-being program and series that we started. I believe that good inner well-being, as well as kind of finding that positivity, the encourage with connecting with people, as well as then taking action together is very, very important. I know that there are so many concerns bothering so many individuals at the moment, from economical crises to humanitarian and environmental crises and many more. And finding that encourage the hope that everybody needs requires a little bit of open-mindedness, and then you connect with people, you start talking, you see that how many communal actions actually there were long waited in them, but they didn't know how to approach and be part of it and try to bring either short-term or long-term actions where it could fix it, even if it's baby steps. So I believe United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are really good and very well kind of performing that, or giving the guidelines to individuals. And as Religions for Peace UK, also Religions for Peace UK Interfaith Youth Network, we are trying to kind of bring them within our project. So really, please, if you think that there is an idea even that you do have, but you don't know how to put it together, please do feel free to, contacting with us. As I said, together we can achieve so many things. So we're gonna share the links again. You can reach us out through the social media accounts, or you can just use our subscription page on our website, and we are very open to listen to you, find solutions together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Eda. I think to conclude the discussion on the SDGs, according to the SDG organization themselves, they are citing for us SDG 10, which is reducing inequality. Because by reducing inequality, we are not just talking about gender or, well, the most obvious is obviously the gender issue, but then there is equality in income, there is equality in education, in equal opportunities to end discrimination, there is social policies, there is global financial markets and how different countries are treated differently, representation from developing countries in the financial institutions, because again, if the countries are small and insignificant in inverted commas, they don't normally get the same treatment as when they are big and loud and able to fight for themselves. So immigration policies is another inequality that we face very much in our society. And then the exchange of people, immigration, and sometimes refugees and asylum seekers, and even the cost of what it takes for a refugee or an immigrant to gain status in a country. All those things are, equality issues. So if we can reduce that in the work that we do, well, even environment, because we now have environment refugees, we well know that, in being able to address the problems in looking at every aspect of how we can reduce inequality, would be an important and significant step to make in amongst all of the SDGs. So we have been advised, and SDG 10 has been hoisted in front of us to say, please go out and do that. So SDG 10, reducing inequality.
Yeah, the good thing is that there are so many synergies between all the SDGs. The whole idea is that when you contribute to one, you're not working only towards one, you're working towards many others.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's rarely a trade-off. There are some trade-offs, but it's mostly about synergies. And I think that is something that Eda also put it very well, that it is about collaboration, as SDG 17 is about collaboration. And so I think it is very well reminded. And the SDG 10 is indeed very important.
Yeah, and probably maybe we can take that forward in seeking our partners, that we are using reducing inequality as a main goal. That although we have different programs and different elements of peace, that if we push towards doing that, well, as you say, Yvonne, there's the synergy between the various different types of work in reducing equality in all fronts of what we're trying to achieve, that more cooperation will help us reduce that inequality. That because people are different, but if we work together, we see what each other are seeing, and therefore we identify the inequalities in a fuller fashion, for us to be able to do something. We would like to be able to bring more of the concerns, social issues that are pressing, to the children, because we mustn't underestimate them. They are very smart nowadays. They catch on much more than we think they catch on. So yes, we need to be bringing how we want the world to be to them, so that they can be a part of making it happen, as well as making the decisions, as well as learning how to bring results and all of that. That would be lovely.
Absolutely. Also, that would continue. They will grow up. They will do the same thing for the future generations, and that will be such a sustainable way of approach by, so many different generations.
Yes. So on a sideline, as we were talking about, influencing young people, RfPUK is also preparing for a critical thinking program. So this is still very much in the developmental stage. So far we have 3 areas. So we have the art of dialogue. We want to share methods with which we can navigate through disagreements, so that how we talk to each other, how we accept differences of opinion, and how we can still bring positive results. So that's one thing. Another topic is the AI-driven extremism, because we know that we are being fed information that we think are universal, but they are by no means that. It comes because advertisers need to make money. They want us to read their advertisement, but inadvertently they also throw up a lot of things that are very opinionated, because of how AI works to bring you whatever you see on your screen. So you and I can be looking at the same thing, but if I have a browsing habit, they will give me what I want to see only, letting me think that what I think is everything, which is not true. But not enough people realize that we are being manipulated. So the AI bit of it wants to address that. And then we have one area which we call social impact. So hate speech is one, how we do not engage in politeness and aggressiveness even. And another point is really interesting, is that we avoid war discussions. We're all thinking that war is pressing very close to us, but people are not ready to engage, or not willing to engage in the war discussions. But that will definitely bring social impact, if anything. So the environmental issues is one area. and gender equity is one area. So by putting this together, we are sending out SOS to our interfaith partners. I think one of the things that we now experience as in extremism is because lots of people are thinking only one way, and if there is disagreement, it clashes and then it stops. And we spent years trying to develop dialogue, but we're actually seeing less and less dialogue. It's more and more judgment right at the beginning of everything. So we wanted to open the discussion on the critical thinking front so that everybody actually knows that you have to know the other side of the the argument, so that you are more informed. Of course, thinking the way you think, but also thinking the way that people who don't agree with you think, so that we are more informed in making our choices. So Edda has been developing the AI side of this project. Share with us something that we have been able to achieve with getting people involved, and yeah, and how we are formulating that side of the project.
Firstly, AI has been in our lives, making it really, really simple and easy, such a good source of support. But young people, also any age group really, they are also aware that AI is just about algorithms, and if you do use the correct algorithm, you would receive something successful. But if you would use something odd, then you would receive something odd. Then there is a realization that comes in, that are we looking at something fraud, or are we looking something very limited? Are we looking something which is real? So obviously, so many people are aware, or they are not aware, that AI also has that side of the coin together with it. So that was kind of concern that occurred, and we thought that we should put together another new program, which is currently working on it, which will bring us some webinars and training opportunities to actually understand what AI is and the good way of using the algorithms to receive more relevant and more accurate answers, and how we can actually judge what AI is given to us, so we can avoid extremisms in different capacities. It could be, we have very well experienced how AI-driven programs could bring in hate speech, as well as misinformation. Now that world has so many wars happening, or environmental problems, and people have seen actually how important it was to not to believe in every news that we are hearing, and most of them were written out of AI, especially on social media. So we kind of want to bring that on the table and showcase to people how you can detect bad usage of AI, how you can, but also not only that, but also how you can actually turn it to something positive and useful and educative and good way of using AI platforms. That is, I think, how far I am able to share at the moment, because we are still developing the program, but very exciting programs are on, on the foreseen, and they are coming soon, very soon.
Thank you, Edda. And Yvonne, you've been working on the navigating about parenting so far. So from encouraging children to, well, encouraging parents to give children the breadth of understanding of maybe, you know, interfaith religious education, or in telling the parents what they can do to help the children navigate their world. Should talk to us about that work a little bit.
Yeah, I think it is a very important, as a parent, I find it useful because as a parent, I find myself sometimes, well, I don't know how to be a parent. I need some help. And especially nowadays that things happen so fast, they change so fast. Of course, there are always a change from generation to generation, but I think nowadays with the advance of AI, for example, everything is overwhelming. So this program aims to help not only parents, but anything that is involved with children. It could be teachers, it could be older siblings, it could be grandparents, anyone that works with children or interested in child development, because it does give some insights and some tips on how to raise peaceful, it's for a peaceful society, so more empathetic children, more understanding children, more flexible, more open-minded as well, and also aware of the dangers there are there as well. So we had our first session, it was digital parenting, so it kind of touched a little bit on the topic of AI. We explored digital safety, also what the do's and don'ts, how it affects children around boys, girls, or different ages. Also, we had a session about teaching intercultural and interfaith understanding, so children are more open-minded, they can respect other, they know the differences, how can we cultivate those skills. And we also had a session about eco children, so how we can make them more aware of sustainability and also environmental issues. How can they be more aware of this and already grow up with these values as they develop. So all of those things aim to prepare a next generation that will be more peaceful, that can solve and understand others' problems and interact with each other and find solutions and care for the other and the environment and also themselves in a way, and also in a more critical way. So it's both for parents and adults dealing with children, and also for the children themselves. So I really like this program, and yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we wanted to do was to give the critical thinking skills to the children, but in doing so, I think we're also training the adults, the caregiver, the parents, whoever is in the lead position, to engage in that kind of critical thinking also, because you have to prepare yourself before you can prepare the young. So in doing that, we're doing two things at the same time, and that is why it would mean that we're not just concentrating on the young people, and by no means we're not saying that we know how to do it. It's very much a coordinated effort between people who are participating and supporting each other. So it's a communal effort in doing that. So last but not least, we RfPUK, although we are independent, we had kind of hung on the coattails of RFP International to join ICANN, which is the international campaign for the abolition of nuclear weapons. And we decided that UK want to join as a proper member, because it's almost like an elephant in the room that we are a peace organization, but it doesn't seem that we are talking very much about the war situation. So the avoidance of war discussions is prevalent in our society, because it's so unpleasant and dangerous, and people's opinions are so divided nowadays that we don't want to do that. In case if we hit a raw nerve or a different opinion. So I think we in the days coming up, certainly in 2025, that RfPUK wants to bring that back into the discussion, how we address weapons of mass destruction, how we address what to do, what the individual can do when we feel so hopeless or helpless in a situation where we don't have full control on, and so much of it depends on the government. It's actually pretty much like the environmental issue, isn't it? That you think it's all in the hands of the government, and we are not directly in line to be able to do something. But that doesn't necessarily have to be so, because by countering hate speech, by countering extremism, by countering being manipulated by AI, I think we can start the discussions on how we look at war and how we refuse to fight. We pick collaboration above conflict, and that would be a major direction that RfPUK would be taking in 2025 and possibly beyond. And the critical thinking program is part of that rising to that challenge. So it falls to me to thank everybody online, in Zoom and also on YouTube, who have joined us, and we look forward to hearing from you, getting your wisdom and suggestions and comments. And I hope that we can all pick out on the SDGs that we want to achieve and find ways to work together. We are a foundation, so we support work, not only our own work, but of our collaborators. So we can, we hope to hear from you. So thank you everybody very much, and I wish you a good night. And thank you, Edda, thank you, Yavin, for hosting this this online chat. I hope we can have more opportunities in the future to do this again.